This is Dr. Bev Knox, and you are viewing my psychology tutorials, Learn Psychology While You Sleep. These series of video lectures are all about the psychology of human sexuality. Human sexual behavior is a diverse phenomenon. It occurs in different physical locations and social contexts, consists of a wide range of specific activities, and is perceived differently by different people. An individual engages in sexual activity on the basis of a complex set of motivations and organizes that activity on the basis of numerous external factors and influences. Thus, it is unlikely that the tools and concepts from any single scientific discipline will suffice to answer all or even most of the questions one might ask about sexual behavior. But the question is, why study sex? Most people are curious about sex, particularly because exchanging sexual information is somewhat taboo in our culture. So, curiosity motivates us to study sex. In these series of lectures, we will be considering various perspectives on sexuality, the effects of religion, science, and culture, as well as the sexual health perspective. These perspectives will give you a glimpse of the forest before you study the trees, sexual anatomy and physiology, which is the plumbing part, and sexual behavior, which is the people part. Now let us talk about the difference between sex and gender. Sometimes the word sex is used ambiguously. In some cases, it refers to being male or female, and sometimes it refers to sexual behavior or reproduction. In most cases, of course, the meaning is clear from the context. If you are filling out a job application form and it says sex, you don't write "I like it" or "as often as possible." It is clear that your prospective employer wants to know whether you are male or female. In other cases, though, the meaning may be ambiguous. To remove or at least reduce this ambiguity, the term sex will be used in these lectures in contexts referring to sexual autonomy and sexual behavior, and the term gender will be used to refer to being male or female or some other gender such as trans. Now, let us review the history of understanding sexuality, religion, and culture. Throughout most of recorded history, at least until about 100 years ago, religion and rumor provided most of the information that people had about sexuality. The ancient Greeks openly acknowledged both heterosexuality and homosexuality in their society and explained the existence of the two in a myth in which the original humans were double creatures with twice the normal number of limbs and organs. Some were double males, some were double females, and some were half male and half female. The gods, fearing the power of these creatures, split them in half, and forever after, each one continued to search for its missing half. Heterosexuals were thought to have resulted from the splitting of the half male, half female. Male homosexuals from the splitting of the double male, and female homosexuals from the splitting of the double female. It was through this mythology that ancient Greeks understood sexual orientation and sexual desire. 15th century Christians believed that wet dreams, which were nocturnal emissions, resulted from intercourse with tiny spiritual creatures. And the person who had wet dreams was considered guilty of sodomy as well as witchcraft. Over the centuries, Muslims have believed that sexual intercourse is one of the finest pleasures in life. However, the way that the laws of the Quran are carried out varies greatly from country to country. People from different religions hold different understandings of human sexuality. It was against this background of religious understanding of sexuality that the scientific study of sex began in the 19th century. Although, of course, religious notions continue to influence our ideas about sexuality. In addition, the groundwork for the understanding of the biological aspects of sexuality had already been laid by the research of physicians and biologists. A major advance in the scientific understanding of the psychological aspects of human sexuality came with the work of the Viennese physician Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychiatry and psychoanalysis. His ideas will be discussed further in a later lecture. It is important to recognize the cultural context in which Freud and other of the early researchers crafted their research and writing. They began their work in the Victorian era, the late 1800s, both in the United States and Europe. The scientific study of sex has not emerged as a separate, ununified academic discipline like biology or psychology or sociology. Rather, it tends to be interdisciplinary, a joint effort by biologists, psychologists, sociologists, anthropologists, and physicians. This approach to understanding sexuality gives us a better view of humans in all their sexual complexity.